Word life, B, is real out here in these streets. It's the New York Mystic reporting live from the streets of Staten Island, the streets of Brooklyn, same, the streets of Queens. I'm in all 5 boroughs. You know why? Because I'm a fucking mystic, Shane. Word up. Hey, I got a real quick question for the family. Real quick question for the men, especially the men that are in relationship with divine feminine entities out here in these streets. Now, society and the world is pulling you and your queen apart. So essentially, I'm trying to pull you and your divine queen together. Sometimes people can get confused on the messages. They think because I'm spiritual, I only talk to women. But I'm spiritual in the sense that sometimes I talk to the fellas. Because you know why? I'm a fella myself. But the question that I got for the fellas this morning is, did you make her come? I made my wife come 10 times this morning. No cap. But did you make your wife come this morning? And now you probably got your mind in the gutter thinking I'm talking about sexual activities. And maybe I am, but I'm talking about the different form of come. I'm talking about commitment and compassion. These are 2 essential ingredients to long-term relationships. Because a person can be with you 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and be their own damn self and never committed to the relationship. They only committed to the benefits that you were giving them in the relationship. So they didn't never commit to you. They committed to the benefits that you were providing. Now, if they got benefits from somewhere else, or the benefits that you were providing got a little spoiled, got a little stale, then they moved on. But that's because there was no commitment, meaning that there was no union, there was no connection, there was no oneness in the union. The relationship was consisted of 2 individuals. Now that's just like saying, I want to have chocolate milk, so I'm going to give you some chocolate and I'm going to give you some milk. Well, I haven't committed to that chocolate milk. I'm not really sure if I want chocolate or milk. I'm still deciding. In reference to if I wanted chocolate milk, the only way that I ever get to a point where I'm enjoying the wonderful flavor of cow pus, cow blood, and sugar, or what y'all like to call chocolate milk, I would have to combine them. I have to commit to the idea. So in your relationships, fellas, is your partner committing to you? Is your partner committing to you so much so that they commit to the relationship, but they don't commit simply to the benefits that you're providing? Because I know some amazing men out here in these streets. Contrary to popular belief, I know men who take care of their families, stand up for their families, so forth and so on, at the highest level. And because they are men of high substance, they provide a lot of benefits to being in a relationship with them. So the partner for which they attract isn't essentially attracted to them because they don't have the actual dialogue or conversation. They didn't make her come. See, you got to make a girl come sometimes. Sometimes you got to understand that the benefits that I'm providing you are not me, or they are a culmination of events that led up to a success formula that I can share with you. And when I share this success formula with you, you can then implement it and apply it in your daily life. Because what a man wants, you didn't know this, fellas, but you want your partner to love herself. You don't want her necessarily to love you, because essentially, if you attracted her, you love yourself. But this is where the tricky part gets in. Speaking to the men. Because women not going to understand this. When you meet a woman and you decide that I want to be her husband, I want to be in a long-term relationship, you have to make yourself come with compassion. See, the etymology of compassion is that you are together in the suffering. Something about a long-term relationship that it is not. Let me just preface this before I get into compassion, because you won't understand it. And let me preface it. Let me help you understand it. Life is a series of ups, my nigga, and downs, my nigga. It is not a perpetual up. Life operates in waves. So your relationship operates in waves. If you get with a woman and she looks amazing, guess what, my guy? The same rules apply. Because emotions are equated to water, and water moves in what type of shape? A wave. You never seen the water do a fucking crescendo up to the sky perpetually, just like a ladder of water going up to the sky. You never seen it. In reference to the water that rises up due to gravity or due to lightness, it generally gets pushed down by the atmosphere, thus creating the wave-like shape that we see of cascading emotional tides of our human life. Very simple shit. So if you go into a relationship, you cannot say that you have your money together, sis. You're pretty, sis. You got everything going for you, sis. You're the perfect woman. I expect you to stay that way. If you go into a relationship like that, my guy, you are going to be sadly mistaken. You will not be able to handle the relationship, because sometimes, depending on the goddess, she might be a tsunami. She might be a flood. She might be a thunderstorm. She might be a whole slew of transmographic emotional highs and fucking lows. And there's nothing that you can do about it. And if you didn't have a positive male role model in your life, you would be the same way like a woman, but you don't even fucking know, because we don't actually learn about sex and relationships. We just look what our mama is doing. Look what our dad is doing. Look what our friends is doing, and come up with our own special fucking formula out here in these streets. At the end of the day, it's all bullshit. If you want to get into a long-term relationship with a man and a woman, you have to have compassion. Hood, what is compassion really? It is saying that I'm okay if you fucking suffer. I'm not going to leave you if you suffer. Matter of fact, I expect you to suffer, and when you suffer, I'm gonna make sure that I'm there for you. A little bit of trust goes a long way. A little bit of security goes a long way. And this is how you make her come. There is no way you're going to make her come if you're not going to be there. She will orgasm and do all types of funny shit once she knows that you... See, you could be in a relationship 10, 15 years, and the woman knows that I gotta act a certain type of way around this nigga. Because if I get into my truth, he is going to leave. He is going to get on some goddamn... He is going to turn to the Silver Surfer in X-Men. That nigga going to move fast as hell. You ain't even going to see the nigga leave. How did the nigga leave so fast? I gave him a little bit of my truth. How did that work? Men are not prepared for your truth. Not at all. They don't know. They would never, ever fathom your truth, be able to digest it. So as a man, you have to enter into the relationship understanding that you have to provide enough space. So this is where it gets tricky, or this is where it gets interesting. Compassion. If you take the ion means time. ION means time. Ion, a measure of time. And then if you look at it, you have compass, right? So essentially you have if you look up the etymology of compass, you have space. It's not necessarily direction. It is the fact that you're in this space, the fact that you're in this time, and the fact that if me and my wife are together, we are committed, we are one, and now we are in this world together. Because without your divine partner, you are not essentially in the space. You're searching for that divine partner. Don't say that you're not, because you're on Tinder, plenty of fish, having one night stands, having hookups, hoping that just maybe he'll have a golden dick or he'll have some golden pussy and it might foray into a long-term relationship. However, it doesn't necessarily work like that. And you know it doesn't work like that, but you still continue on because you're addicted to the hormonal expression of said one night stand, hookup, whatever. So with that being said, your compass is the fact of you being able to now navigate through space. It's kind of tricky because you're suffering without your partner. You're suffering without your partner. Once you connect with your partner, you're able to now navigate through the world, because no matter how much money you have, no matter how much security you have, no matter how much good friends you have, how much support you have, how much therapy you have, you can put all of the aesthetics on the table, say, I got all of my boxes checked. If you do not have a partner, you're somewhat lost. And keep it a buck, keep it 1,000, keep it a trill wheel, if you will. Okay? And essentially, I'm saying this because attracting a partner is so fucking easy. Right? You just have to be committed and compassionate. I'm saying committed is a verb. Compassion is a noun. So the action is you committing to a relationship, becoming one with the relationship. Okay? Simple stuff, right? Because men will DM you, talk to you all day. What's the problem? You don't like them. Why don't you like them? Because you're hoping that the next man is going to have the golden aura. You got your fucking fingers crossed out here, and it doesn't work like that in reference to compassion. Relationships' foundational core principle is compassion, because things go up and down. There is no crescendo. You have been sold that on TV entertainment. You saw your mama and daddy argue all the fucking time. You saw your aunt and uncle argue all the fucking time. This is what you've seen. So why do you think that you're going to be different in your relationship? No, relationships are up and down. You know what? Sometimes you're going to have to talk to your wife in a way that ain't going to be, hi, honey, lovely tender winks. Tender lilies and flowers, baby. Woo, 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 woo. Because my wife is not a child. She is a grown woman. You talk to a child in that fashion. So essentially, growing up, living in the world, you do not have fucking butterflies in your stomach when referencing your divine partner. You understand that going into this relationship is going to be some ups and downs. It's going to be some tricky shit. It's going to be some shadow shit. It might be a level of psychosis where this person is not completely connected to their soul, and it might take some time. Eon, time, compass, direction, being able to be patient, navigate through this matrix with your divine partner, and understanding that it's not going to be perfect. But it is true. But it is right. Why is it true and why is it right? Because you're having fucking sex. Okay? Essentially, a compass and an eon is a penis and a vagina. And essentially, sex is marriage. Okay? I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna end on that because this is where it gets so fucking confusing about relationships and marriages, because I'm not poly, I'm monogamous, but I have sex with 3 different people. But I'm not in a relationship with them, I'm having sex. But I'm not having orgasms when I'm having sex. What's wrong with these men? I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe in a relationship with a man, but I have multiple men that I entertain. So I'm not giving that man the ability to feel safe with me. I'm making this man feel unsafe because men are aggressive and violent. So I'm not ever going to kick it with a chick if she talking to another man, because I respect that man's violence. I respect that man's tendency to get angry and murder over his woman. So essentially, dating multiple men is bad advice. You can do it, but it's horrible advice if you want a long-term relationship. Because you could be talking to a great man, a wonderful fucking man, and ruin it because you got too many niggas on the side that ain't gonna take you seriously. Maybe one takes you out to eat. Maybe one sex you real good. Maybe one is one that you can talk to on the late night. Y'all like the same comedy and shit like that. But you would ruin a long-term relationship for these niggas that once they get into a long-term relationship, they're going to 86 ghost your ass. Okay? So relationships are very simple. So when I say, like, if you feel like, damn, I'll never get into a relationship, it's because you want to never get into a relationship. As a woman or as a man, like, all you have to say is that that's my intention, that is my goal, and then I'm going, see, that's the idea. I want to be in a long-term relationship. I want to get married. But the verb to that actual thought is commitment. And after you commit, you have to be compassionate. Compassionate is the understanding that I will suffer with you. Can you tell? And I know TV and social media is not perpetrating suffering in the relationship. I feel like that's the most scariest shit to y'all. So essentially, y'all will never get into a long-term relationship, even if it was favorable. Why? Because it's low-key narcissistic. Narcissistic in you care about your appearance. Why do you care about your appearance? Because if there was no appearance to look at, we would have to deal with your actions. And if we started to examine your actions, then it's kind of cringe. It's major. You're not giving, right? You're giving cringe now, sis. Bro, you're giving cringe. You look good on the external, but let's move that to the side. Let's deal with the actions behind the looks. Oh my God, major cringe vibes giving. Major give, cringe, ooh. But you look good though, sexy. That doesn't make no sense of what you just did there. You just did something very nasty. But you look good though. Crazy world, but we'll